Hello everybody, welcome back to the Battle Lounge, home of the ClickyWalls, and today we're doing a little bit of painting. So I'm just doing some test runs of the rack runs. So this is one of the first ones that I did. It didn't quite work out with these bits and it was just a test print basically. All gone wrong on the bottom there. So if I show you something more up to date, which is this one. So we haven't got these rings. So I removed those. This was part of the connection system where little rings sat inside and it just didn't work. It was a bit of a nightmare. So we've changed it now. We've just got some little clips that clip on the top here, which holds everything together. And because of that, it means that we moved this. So this changed into this, where we had like little grooves, and these had to be set back in order for the connectors to go in. But now we've put the connectors on the top, it means we've been able to move these right to the end, which means you get a full row of bricks, and then when it's connected up and we flood the resin in, it's going to connect up nicely to that. So I'm just doing a few test prints today just to see what looks good, what I like, what I don't like. So for example, this one I've sort of painted it in a copper, which was this one, which I thought it'd look good because it's more of a browny colour, but I don't actually like it. So I'm going to go with a nice bright silver, because I just think that will look better. Again, this was sort of like the copper and this was a different metal and it didn't sit on the top, it soaked in, and this is all just sort of a little bit of play around with it and see what you get. So the basic colours that I've got, I'll paint this one, so I'll show you where I'm at and what I'm doing with it. So I've got burnt sienna. This is like a reddish sort of colour, which is quite nice for two reasons. First of all, and I'm just using crappy brushes for this. I keep all my nice brushes for painting miniatures, but when you're doing scenery like this, you don't really need anything too detailed. I'm just painting the terracotta. I'm just lashing it on as well. I'm not being overly cautious with it, and I'll show you why in a minute. This bit, I'm not going to go all the way and worry too much about getting down into that bottom bit because it's going to be filled with mud. And I'm not worried too much about going on these sort of areas either with this terracotta colour. I'm using the terracotta because it's the idea of this paint is not just the terracotta bricks, but it's also for rust. It makes a nice rusty colour. And I like to just try and keep my colours, when I'm painting something, I like to try and keep my colours to a minimum. So if I can use the paint in a different way for different areas to get different sort of effects, then I'll do that. So there you go. So just lash that on those bricks at the moment, and then with a slightly bigger brush I'll just, not quite dry brushing, it's more wet brushing, put a bit of that rust on all over, just really sort of random, chuck it in there. So some big sort of like splodges, and then some areas where it's more sort of blended in. And I just want to go down to those bricks down there. So this is where I was saying don't worry about it too much, and then just blend it in. So I'm almost bringing that red up from the bricks into the main colour of the wall of the inside. What I'm going to do, I'm going to paint this as well, because this is essentially a terracotta pipe coming through. If I just show you, so here's one I did earlier. So just terracotta and then some of this creamy colour, which is this one. It's just ivory, opaque ivory, just dry brushed over. This is a sort of effect that you get from terracotta as over the years, as water sort of soaks through it, it leaves sort of like salts behind, and it makes the terracotta go pale. And then I've just stuck some gunk on it. I'll show you the gunk later, what I'd use to do that. And yeah, and these just sort of fit in to there. So what I want to do is all the terracotta from these pipes come through and tie everything together with this. This is like extreme slap chop. When you're doing it, you might want to be a bit neater with it. Something like the sewers, you really don't want it looking all nice, neat and clean. I don't anyway. I want it to look all grimy and disgusting. So there we go. So I've got the terracotta on. wait for that to dry before I put the light colour on. But while I'm waiting for that to dry, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mud in. This mud, just made this with pumice, Mod Podge, glossy Mod Podge, pumice powder and raw umber. Pumice powder is just like a really fine sand. And then I'm just going to put this in really liberal. Obviously you don't have to paint the rat warrens, but this to me is just, it just brings it to life. It's more fun to play on painted terrain, for me anyway. And this is the sludge that I'm going to use in the sludge runs. So the sludge runs are what these then connect up to, which are much bigger tiles. Some of them are massive, and they're all going to be done in the same style as this. Painted that in. Also with these prints, just the nature of 3D printing, you get a lot of layer lines in these areas. When things have got rounded curves on them, it's a lot more prominent, and so putting this nice thick stuff in, it just covers all that as well on these ones. And I'm just going to lay it up a little bit thicker there. When I run the slime in, the resin, it's going to come pretty much to the top of these bricks, so it's going to cover everything that's in there. We've just got those little bits of bars that have broken off, which need to be painted, so I'm just going to get a little bit of tissue and just clean them off, just so I can put some silver on them when we come to do that bit. And this is going to take ages just to dry, so the sooner we can get that on the better. Now I'm just doing one at the moment because obviously I'm showing you guys how I'd paint it, but what I'd normally do is batch these, so I'll just be doing all the terracotta, then do all the mud, then do all the silver, and then do some more rust or something on top of that. And then at the last, obviously you want to, definitely with the resin, you want to be doing that all in one hit, so you're just mixing up one lot and pouring it all, so you get a nice consistency throughout all the little rat runs. Right, now I could try gunmetal or the really bright silver, aluminium. Give it a good shake. Now this is actually airbrush colour, so it's going to be really watery. Well, maybe I should have put this on before the rust. This was a good idea to do a few test pieces first. Now you could do the whole pipes terracotta, that'd probably look quite good as well. But I don't know, I just felt like metal was the way to go with it. But I do think I should have put this on before I did the rust. But that's okay, so I can just go over it. I'm going to have a little play, and I'm going to paint one terracotta and see if I like it, because as I'm painting it, if I use the same one as that, so you can see this is the old one, failed a little bit here as well, this didn't work, we haven't got any little bits in there, but I'm just going to paint this whole thing with terracotta now. I'm not trying to cover up all the black, I'm going to just lash it on and see what it looks like. Maybe these little feet should be metal, that would look quite good. Which again, doesn't matter if I get any of this burnt sienna on there, because it will just be rust anyway, won't it? Keep it all sort of patchy and rough looking. I don't know, I'm looking at that, I'm thinking that's going to be really good if it's all done in the same style. I do like the terracotta the way that they've been done. I will carry on with this one and see what it looks like, but if I spent a bit more time with the metal, you know, Nuln oil and things like that, I could get that metal looking really nice. But I've got hundreds of these to paint, so I'm thinking the terracotta looks good as well. Be interested to know what you guys think. Leave a comment, just what you prefer, what do you think? Because at these early stages where I'm just doing some test prints, I need to make those decisions, don't I, what I'm going to do in terms of... Well, I'll tell you what, let's stick some of the other colour on, Again, I'm not cleaning my brush out properly, so this is the one that I've used the terracotta with. Stick a bit of that the ivory on there, wipe it out. This is still wet, as you can see. But again, I just sort of dab it around with the big bits, and then I'll start wet blending it in. Just blending those colours in. You almost want areas where it's really bright, like splodges, and then other areas where it's almost dusty looking. I don't know about you guys, but I like that. This brush is just a Citadel dry brushing brush. Quite like it. Sometimes I use these little things like this. This is Army Painter dry brushing, which is really small. This is really good if you want a really soft sort of finish on it. Just going to go and put a little bit of silver on these grills. Now I could just dry brush these on, which is what I'm going to do with this bottom bit, but I'll probably stick some Nuln Oil on that just to sort of tone it down a little bit, or maybe some Agrax might be better for this. Then I'll just do some dry brushing on these legs. Just pick some bits out. So probably do a little bit around here. Just make that a little bit more solid looking. The nice thing about having a little bit of shiny on your scenery is it really stands out on the table when the light catches it. I think having these metal bits at the bottom as well is nice. It gives it a nice bit of weight. Grounds it. I really like that actually. I'm pleased with that little bit of terracotta there. Don't think I'm gonna put any green on the inside, but I might put some on the outside. I don't know. I mean, technically this is all underground, isn't it? So you wouldn't have that, but I think if we do it as if this is outside, you could use it above ground as well then if you wanted to. Feels like it does need that little bit of extra something on there. Just pick up a bit of this rust and just stipple it on. Put a little bit of typhus corrosion or something on there as well, maybe, just to make it look a little bit more rusty. Maybe a little bit more lighter orange, just to bring out, to differentiate it between that. So I've got this Riser Rust. I'll try a little bit of that on there, but just on this. Just add a little bit more to the sort of the rust feel of it. Just take the edge off of that shininess a little bit as well. Yeah, like that. Then we're going to slop some mud in. Be nice and generous with it. This one, I think what we need, I think I might try put a load of crap. I can't put too much in here because obviously that other bit's got to click into this. But on the inside, we could do it pouring out of this grate. So it's all like that. And put a bit of this crap up the walls. Yeah, I like that. I feel like it should be a little bit lighter. I feel like I blended that in a little bit too much maybe. I feel like I just need a little bit of contrast just to brighten it up because it is very dark. A little bit out here as well. Just like dab a little bit on. Just try not to overthink it. Just adding that little bit of highlight on there, I just think has made it look a lot more grubby. Looks good. Happy with that. I'll let it dry, see what that looks like. I'm going to flood some resin in. That's just really going to finish it off. Personally, I think I'm liking the terracotta more. Just feels right. Nice and quick and easy as well. Didn't take me long to do that. So yeah, that's the rat runs, guys. Obviously I'll do another video once I've got them all made up. Quick update with where we are with the swamp tiles. These are looking very dark at the moment because this is just a base colour. We've put a load of gunk down, and then a lot of these stones are going to be loose, so they'll come off. We'll give them a good brush off and make sure we get all these little loose bits off. And then we're going to go in and we're going to put some greens and stuff like that. I haven't got time to do any of that today because I'm working on the castle at the moment. I've got a working drawbridge, which is really cool. I'm really pleased with that. It's got a little ratchet system on there, so as you wind the little handle, the drawbridge sort of clicks as it comes up, and then it stays in place. That's pretty awesome. I've done the moats as well. I haven't test printed those yet, but they're pretty cool. So it's one of these sort of like flocker boards, the same as that, but it's got the mud banks by the sides, and then we've got some normal floor tiles which are mud as well. We've got like little pathways and things like that. Castle's going to be a huge project. If you want a little bit of a challenge and you want to build something massive, definitely the castle is the way to go. Obviously we've got the underkeep, which is big sprawling dungeons, but that's sort of, it is multi-level, but really good for those big open sort of playing boards. Whereas the castle is more of a wow factor when you put that on the table. A massive big castle, and you've got working drawbridge and things like that, and all the moats, and real exciting thing to use on the board, but going to take a little bit longer to set up probably. Be doing another video on that as soon as I get all the pieces printed out and we start building it. Right, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're subscribed, brilliant. If you're not, do that. If you are subscribed, if you can just click the like button, because honestly it really helps us if you like it. And for more, yeah, obviously get subscribed. Cheers guys, we'll see you in the next one.